We spent just 2 seasons at Atletico Madrid, but then Manchester United gave me a job interview, and I smashed that job interview. And I became the new Manchester United manager. 3 trophies down, we still need to return to Spain for La Liga at some point though. And our target now is the FA Cup and of course, the beautiful Premier League. And although the Premier League has more contenders than La Liga who could realistically win it, we do have an incredible team here at Old Trafford, led of course by Kylian Mbappe in his prime. But players like Ricci in midfield and putting him alongside Tonali, Eric Garcia at the back having developed incredibly well, and they are all around about 25 years of age. Pedro Porro is there as well as Boubacar Kamara. If only this was real life. They also won the Champions League 2 seasons ago. Again, I wish. When I took over, they were knocked out of Europa League thanks to Barcelona and still in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. It's against Manchester City, but there is still a slim chance that I could get a trophy off Glory Hunter here. And that is actually our first game in charge. So here is our starting lineup. Mbappe leading the line with Bruno Fernandes in the shadow strike role and Sancho and Rashford either side. Ricci and Tonali in midfield, Hernandez left back, Pedro Porro right back, and Varane and Eric Garcia at the back with David De Gea in goal. Our bench is also really strong with Serge Gnabry, Boubacar Kamara, Dybala, and Christian Eriksen. And of course, the first scorer for us just had to be Kylian Mbappe. But Manchester City equalised through their danger man, and what a thunder bastard that was. However, in the 27th minute, Bruno Fernandes scored the winning goal, taking us into the semi-final, where of course we have drawn Liverpool. And Rafael Leao gave Liverpool the early lead, but when you have Mbappe, goals can come from nowhere. Into extra time, then Mbappe turned provider, and fullback Pedro Porro found space to knock Liverpool out of the FA Cup. To be fair, we did actually get to the final of the Copa del Rey before we left, so this is kind of fair if you ask me in my opinion. And we are against the blue side of Merseyside in the final, still managed by Frank Lampard. The next gen list is out and there's some outrageous players on that list that I need to keep on my shortlist for the rest of this series, that Turkish goalkeeper being one of them. He might be better than David De Gea. We have also stayed unbeaten since I joined the club with 4 league games and a cup final to go. 5 points between us and Liverpool is not completely out of the question for Champions League, but imagine this team in Europa League next year. 3 more wins before the final and we've jumped up to 4th place. Chelsea have a game in hand, but it's amazing for us to catch them all together. And they play Liverpool next. But it's FA Cup final time, so let's focus first. Things started perfectly and Bruno Fernandes fired in a great volley. Kylian Mbappe doubled our lead in the second half. Everton then got one back through a penalty and then proceeded to gift us with a third. They had another penalty late on, but Manchester United have lifted the FA Cup. I've only been here 2 months and that's another trophy ticked off of Glory Hunter. Chelsea and Liverpool draw, so both can win and we stay in 5th, which actually might not be a bad thing with Europa League. We actually drew the last game of the season too, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway as both Chelsea and Liverpool won. Europa League it is. And our budget is only set for £55 million. My main aim is a goalkeeper and I think Robert Sanchez is our man. Good price, very good attributes and looks far better than David De Gea in all departments outside of shot stopping. Deal done, nice and easy for £22 million after some add-ons. United could learn from that type of efficiency. In case you were wondering, Diego Simeone took over at Atletico after me. So I'm going to complete the summer window while I'll talk to you about how terrible I did at fantasy football this first week. Guys, I'm like 160th out of over 200 people. It's quite embarrassing and Dad's doing well in the top 20, I think. But there's still time to join my community league on SPITCH using the links in the description. The point system means that even if you did join after missing this first week, it doesn't really matter. You can catch up pretty quickly. You can get points for tackles, passes, blocks, not just goals and assists. And it actually means that everybody doesn't end up with the same team like they sometimes do on the FPL one. Unlimited transfers too, so that helps with that situation as well. Now you do have to be 18 years of age or over from the UK, Austria, or Germany and have your identification ready there for verification purposes. But it's very simple and it's free to play across all game modes, including the brand new mode, Season Mode. However, there is a £50,000 jackpot should you wish to enter with £5. And your top 5 lineups get put into consideration at the end of the season for your chance to win that money. The free option is not as much as the paid option, but it is still free to play and you can still win money. So make sure you're not missing out on SPITCH. This is the top link to join and the second link to join the community league. Make sure you do that. There's over 200 people in there. We're having a lot of fun. Now, while that was all happening, the World Cup happened and England beat Australia in the final. Our first game of the season is Manchester City in the Community Shield. And we have a new signing to introduce in Jules Koundé starting centre-back next to Eric Garcia. £50 million from Sevilla I think is a great price. He is a world-class centre-back in my opinion. 2-2 after extra time with City down to 10 men when Erling Haaland was sent off. They take the win on penalties though. Our opening game of the league season came at Old Trafford against Everton, and Kylian Mbappe kicked things off with a flyer picking up a first half hat-trick to really jumpstart our season as we aim for some trophies. Samuel Ricci ended the scoring with a 4-0 domination with a scorcher from outside of the box. However, brought back down to earth right after with a loss to Newcastle. Our Europa League group seems pretty simple too, but the next game against Arsenal, Bruno missed another penalty. Luckily for him, we had a grand total of 26 shots at Arsenal's goal with 15 on target. And yeah, Aaron Ramsdale's a good goalkeeper and finished on a 7.7 rating, but he still conceded 5 goals. And unfortunately for Arsenal, they barely had any shots and couldn't score one. Mbappe enjoyed this game even more, picking up another hat-trick once again. Deadline day closes and we secured another player. £15 million for Caicedo from Brighton. Quality midfielder. We head into the first Manchester derby in the league on great form. Things started well when right back Pedro Porro gave us the lead 5 minutes in. Both teams were missing starting players though, including Ricci, Rashford and Haaland for City. But new signing João Felix played Foden in for the equaliser, and in the second half an unbelievable shot cannoned off the bar and was tapped in by Yeremy Pino. 6 games played and 2 losses already is not fantastic. October in the league began hosting Chelsea, and a beautiful pass from Fernandes found Gnabry for the opener. Ben Chilwell of Chelsea did equalise a couple of minutes later however, but second half and with 2 goals in as many minutes, Kylian Mbappe was once again the difference maker in this match, taking all 3 points from Manchester United. Unfortunately, that was our only win of the month in the Premier League though, and that dropped us down to 8th place. Meaning the next time we graced the grass of the Premier League, we needed to be ruthless, and that's exactly what we did against Wolves. Serge Gnabry getting on the score sheet twice early doors, putting us 2-0 up. Mbappe then breaking through and chipping the goalkeeper for a third. Gnabry getting his hat-trick in the second half, and the perfect 5-star performance was topped off with a long-range shot from Ricci arrowed into the bottom corner. And the tone was set for the rest of the month as we won all 5 encounters with 4 clean sheets. And that run ended in the first game of December when West Ham scored late on. Thankfully, the rest of the month was superb and even hosting Liverpool despite going 1-0 down in the second minute. We took control and took the lead through Kylian Mbappe. Demiral extended the lead in the second half and Curtis Jones could only get a consolation in stoppage time to give us the 3-2 win. Great month despite the start with a loss to West Ham, but how do we look in the league? Well, we are 9 points behind Manchester City but played a game less, and we've topped our Europa League group as expected, and we even made it to the Carabao Cup semi-final and are easily the strongest team left in this competition. And a big win against Spurs and points gained on both City and Chelsea, who both failed to win. Another month of wins, the only draw coming in the first leg of the EFL Cup, and we knocked them out in the second leg. And some of you with eagle-eyed vision would have spotted something as well. We are the current Premier League leaders. And that's thanks to City having an awful time in January. Our February ended our long unbeaten run, however. Despite Mbappe giving us the very early lead, Liverpool destroyed us after Bruno Fernandes was sent off after 15 minutes. Giving us way too much to do at Anfield, and unfortunately, Mohamed Salah, he scored a hat-trick, and we lost the game 4-1. And that dropped us back down to second place. It is cup final time though, and although this trophy means nothing in Glory Hunter terms, I still want to win it. Mbappe's pace was what created the first goal yet again. And a minute later, Pedro Porro finds himself in space to score a second. Jadon Sancho got a third halfway through, and Matty Cash got one back for Villa, but it was too late. 3-1 winners. And we lift the EFL League Cup. But our focus immediately shifts to Napoli, who we've drawn in the Europa League. And the first leg was very tight indeed. The second leg was very similar, just with a lot more goals. Mbappe opened the scoring once again, but soon after, Napoli had equalised. We got a second goal 10 minutes later, and that's when we began pushing forward with a third, and then a fourth. Second half, and Napoli scored 2 goals through Hirving Lozano to make it 4-3. But luckily, Pedro Porro scored our 5th and final goal of the game. He keeps popping up. Our month ended badly though when Liverpool knocked us out of the FA Cup. But of course, it's a cup competition we've already claimed for Glory Hunter, so it's not all bad. We are top of the league again by a point, and we're still in the quarterfinals of Europa League. The month changed to April, but one thing that didn't change was Mbappe's form. In this 7-3 victory against West Ham, he scored 4 goals, and as you can see, 3 of them in the first half, 5 minutes in between or 3, from the 21st to the 26th minute, and they're all very similar goals, using his unbelievable pace. And his 4th, he just levered into the net emphatically. First leg against Leipzig in Europa League, and Nkunku bagged early on at Old Trafford. Julian Rijkaard equalised shortly after, but there was only one man who could step up, and of course, that was Kylian Mbappe, who scored another 2 beautiful goals, where he was just faster than everybody else, breaking through and slotting in to hand us a 3-1 advantage going into the second leg. And we held on just about going into the second leg, losing 1-0, winning of course on aggregate. Back to the league, and our form has been good, but with City and Arsenal coming up, it's make or break time. In Europa League then, we fall behind in the semi-final tie against Real Sociedad away from home. Arsenal at the Emirates, and Rashford opens the scoring. Sanchez does a howler and allows them to equalise, but very late on, Mbappe scores what we think is the winner. But no. Dahoud in the 90th minute equalises for Arsenal, and the game finishes 2-2, and that could honestly cost us the league. It's Real Sociedad's second leg time, and it's time to put us in the final of Europa League. I'm also seeing the irony, by the way, that I am Manchester United fighting to win the Europa League with, in real life, Manchester United in Europa League, which is quite a funny joke for you guys. It's not for me. But it's Manchester City next, and it's second versus third. And that's because Liverpool have played 2 more games than us and won both of them, so we cannot afford to drop any points. Fortunately, I'm thinking we may be waiting another season for the Premier League as we fall 3-1 to City. However, Liverpool have won the league, and City actually finished 4th behind us. Chelsea popped up from nowhere, and Mbappe has scored 43 league goals. That's massive. But here we are, Europa League time, and Hertha Berlin is our opponents. So this is the lineup I'm going to go with. Rashford is the only first team name missing, but really, Serge Gnabry is a fantastic replacement. And we came firing out the blocks when Jadon Sancho opened the scoring after just 4 minutes. Kylian Mbappe hated that, given that he likes to always get the opening goal, and he scored straight after. A third came soon after when Pedro Porro found space yet again, and we are 4-0 up in 25 minutes, but Mbappe got his second. Hertha Berlin finally had an attempt on goal and scored to make it 4-1, but we scored a 5th right before half time. Ali Akman made it 5-2 in the second half, but it was already too late, and the man who kicked things off scored the final goal to make it 6-2 and crown us Europa League champions. And yes, another trophy ticked off of Glory Hunter, and honestly, one of the more tricky ones that I expected to complete too. Also, it's hilarious that Vincent Kompany's job could be coming to an end at Manchester City. But 2 trophies this season and the FA Cup last year means that 2 more trophies are ticked off our list, and we're only 6 seasons in. See you in the next one.